our power, we want to throw our shoes and just walk out of there, but we stay and we leave good. And we leave with a sense of dignity. How do we do that when we move from levels? Retirement is coming. Moving. How did I leave St. James when I knew that something greater was coming? And I think that peace is being found in something I'll unpack this morning. Our scripture text this morning, if you have your Bibles with me, will be taken from the book of Philippians. If you are someone who studies your Bible, this passage of scripture will not be unfamiliar to you. Philippians, the 4th chapter.
Yes.
Philippians 4. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I will say, rejoice. Let's read that first line again. Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I will say, rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to everyone. The Lord is near. Do not worry about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplications, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. Let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, not some understanding, not a few pieces of understanding, but all understanding, will guard your hearts and mind in Jesus Christ. Brothers and sisters, on this December morning, journey with me as we unpack the title, Be Thankful for What You Got.
Amen.
God,
Yes. Amen.
Most gracious and eternal God, we come before you this morning thanking you for this day, thanking you for the opportunity to be here, thanking you for the opportunity to journey with you and be with you and be unpacked by you. Now, God, we ask that you just move with us. We ask that you move mightily in this place. We ask that you journey with us and love on us and let your spirit give us peace.
Yes.
We need peace right now, God.
Yes.
Outside of salvation and joy, I think that's the thing we don't talk about enough is peace. So give us peace this morning, God. If it's not peaceful and it's not of you, shut it down so that we can walk out and get transformed with our hearts and spirits calm, waiting on the new thing that is to come. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Amen.
Give me 1 second, y'all. Got it. I lost my notes when y'all was singing. I dropped my notepad. Our sermonic hymn this morning. Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, gangster, white walls, TV antenna in the back, or you may not have a car at all. But remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got. You may not drive a great big Cadillac, diamond in the back, sunroof up, digging the scene with the gangster lean, gangster white walls, TV antenna in the back. You may not have a car at all. But remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got. Modern song is really good. Why did I start with this song that we associate with so much? Well, written in 1972 and released later that same year, this song came out at a time where Americans, especially black folks, were expressing and experiencing the strains of being under constant attack on all levels. The communities laid in ruins from the '68 riots. Black politics had been disabled by COINTELPRO and internal squabbles, starting even with how we handle things in the church, led us to the state of confusion. What's eerily similar is that the conditions in 1972 were the conditions the Apostle Paul was facing at the time that he wrote this passage of Scripture. The church was still in its infancy and it was going through some shifts. The church was still trying to figure out who we are and what we're supposed to do. The church had this internal conflict between Jewish Christians who converted from Judaism and still wanted to hold on to the old ways in light of. And then the Gentile Christians who said, we ain't doing none of that. We ain't going to do all that. We don't understand no Mosaic law. We just want to love on Jesus. Eerily similar to the conditions we face today. Eerily similar to the conversations Brother Howard we talk about. How do we blend two worlds for the greater good? And all this conversation was happening in anticipation of the Lord's return. Because Paul was steady looking for the return of Jesus. His entire ministry was centered around getting people ready for the return of Jesus. Now I know this is after we're talking about the birth of Jesus, so stay with me, I'm going somewhere. But he was trying to settle spirits for something to come.
Yes.
So I remember I was sitting last year in a car riding back from DuPage, a meeting in DuPage with Reverend Miller. And it was after the annual conference, and Reverend Cannon and Mother Cannon know this story. And I was supposed to get ordained last season. And it was talks of we're going to ordain you and get you in the church. And you got this, brother. And I had put together the celebratory team. It was like, I don't know if you're a baseball fan. I was like the 86 Red Sox. I had it already, had a celebration planned out. And got left on the conference floor. For whatever reason, the powers that be said, Brother Terrence ain't ready. For whatever reason, they said, Brother Terrence not now. And I can remember sitting in the back of the ordination crying my heart out with my friends who I wanted to celebrate with and journey with were getting ordained. I can remember the pats on my back that said, be patient, God is your faith. And I remember being frustrated and talking to John. It was like, I'm over this. I remember being faithful and talking to Tiffany and saying, I'm over this. And people saying, brother, you just got to calm your spirit for a little while. Be cool with where you at. And I was getting angry because every time I was looking for somebody to get mad with me, few would get mad at me. And people would ask me these existential questions like, are you ready? Was it your time? And how do you position yourself for when God does deliver? Because if God is going to do something, I just couldn't hear that. But because God speaks to me through 70 soul music, we were driving back. And as to calm my mood, my friend said, fine, I will let you listen to your dusty station. I don't want to hear no 70 music, but I will let you listen to your dusty station. And as I was dozing off, because Reverend Miller had told me the same thing, brother, it is what it is, this song came on. And I heard it differently. See, I didn't have an ordination, but I had a ministry. I didn't have a church, but I had fellowship and community.
All right.
And I just needed to stop a moment to stop being so mad and self-righteous and just be thankful.
Amen.
Glory to God.
And so when we talk about this in the space of Advent season, Advent is the promise of the Messiah. Advent is God saying to the people, I'm going to send you something, I'm going to send you someone, I'm going to bless you in a moment. Now we know from the Bible, if you're a Bible scholar, you've been reading, there was 400 years of silence. Imagine not talking to your loved one for 10 minutes, but God was silent for 400 years. Imagine when John the Baptist is talking, prepare the way, and the people are like, what are we preparing for? What is this way? And John being the John the Baptist, the very cryptic John the Baptist, he said he's going to burn it all down. He's going to change it all around. And people are like, what change? What be? What are you talking about? And he's like, it's coming. And you can imagine, like so many of us who are waiting on that new thing, that next thing, that thing that's going to propel us, anxiety gets to rise. And if you read scripture, it alludes to that's how the revolt started, because John the Baptist was talking about a new thing, and every leader in the country said, oh, I must be the new thing, so I'm going to lead a rebellion. All of them must be the new thing. And John said, no, you'll know when you know. Just like Paul had to tell the new church, you'll know when you know. But in the meanwhile, So many of us are expecting something in this season. For me, I'm expecting to finish this process to be a CPE supervisor. I'm expecting us to grow and take over Jeffrey Manor. Some of us are expecting to heal from heartaches that came from loss. Some of us are expecting for our bodies to heal. Some of us are expecting our family to act right. Some of us are expecting something. Expecting something. And in that expectation, we get anxious. We get anxious. Another lived example, and I'm just giving examples, is if you've ever waited on a delivery. Pizza, furniture, your clothes. And now in this day, you check your tracking every 30 seconds. Where is it at? Chris, you know what I'm talking about. You check your tracking on Amazon. Is it there? Oh, is it there? Is it there? No, it's still the same, still at the shipping center in Kentucky. It was an hour ago. And then we get to wondering if it don't show up exactly at 6 o'clock like the invoice say, Brother Howard, am I lying? Amazon said it'd be here 6:15, we upset, we got the computer up, we cracking our knuckles. We finna write a letter, we lose our peace. Because it didn't come when we thought it should come.
Amen. Amen.
You ever wait for the cable man? That's the worst when they give you this window, we'll be there between 12 a.m. and 12 a.m. the next day and just be ready. And so you sitting there because you want your TV, you want your interwebs, you want to get on Snapgram, and you just want to do all of that. And so you looking. And every time somebody walk past the house, is that the cable man? That's not. That's the crackhead. That's not the cable man. And you know, brother, you're not putting in cable, you get desperate. You get thirsty. And you lose your peace. So then your loved one calls, your baby girl goes, hey, Pops, I'm busy right now. I ain't doing nothing but sitting on the couch waiting on the delivery. I'm busy right now. I got things on my head. Leave me alone. I'll call you back. We've lost our peace.
Yeah, that's good.
We've lost our peace.
Yes.
And so what Paul is offering, be cool. To William Devon of this time is saying, listen, what you were promised is not here, but you got something to be thankful for.
Yes. Yes. That's right.
You may not drive a great big Cadillac, but you can get around. I may not be a supervisor yet, but I have a full-time benefited job in an era where full-time benefited jobs are being cut. I have understanding and gracious bosses that love on me. No, the cable man was late. He was. But I had somewhere to sit in the midst of it. I'm not diminishing what we're going through, because what we're going through is real. The health challenges is real. That grief is real. That trauma is real. But what I'm arguing today is, brothers and sisters, in the midst of dealing with all that realness, in the midst of acknowledging all that realness, in the midst of our authentic feelings and saying, man, this is aggravating. This is aggravating waiting on this. Because you had said. Paul is saying peace. And that peace will give you a comfort you don't understand. Paul doesn't talk about it, you'll understand some of the stuff. Paul doesn't say you'll understand one or two items. But the peace of God that surpasses all understanding.
Yes.
If this was a class and I had a whiteboard, I'd underscore all. That's the thing that covers you when you say, I'm being silly. You know they're going to live this back. Let me go wash the dishes. I'm being silly. They going to show up. They say they give me $50 if they late. They ain't trying to give me $50. They're going to show up. I'm being silly. You ain't gonna call me back. I'm gonna do my 20 back to you. You always done it. I'm being silly. How do I regain my peace? And so when we talk about this for the church, what's the formula? I was there then. I'm gonna be there now.
Yes.
So when you're trying to recenter yourself as you wait on the move and the promises of God, God ain't never changed. Amen. My position around God has changed, but God ain't never changed. Amen. My understanding of God may have changed, but God ain't never changed. Right. And the same God that delivered the Israelites, the same God that brought them out of captivity, the same God that enabled prophets to do mighty works, the same God that did all of that and ultimately came to the earth in the form of Jesus the Christ to bring about the kingdom of earth. Kingdom of God on earth as it is. It's the same God that's going to get you from point A to point B if you just be peaceful for a moment, breathe, and be thankful for what you got.
Amen.
Your health is challenging, it's real. Somebody woke up without those challenges, and I ain't talking about the good way. Y'all missed that. Somebody health challenges got resolved and not in the way we think.
Amen.
We got one more day.
Hallelujah. Yes.
In the midst of waiting on that promotion, somebody's job said, we changed our mind, we're going to close the whole division. And I have to wonder how many Israelites just lost their patience and their peace waiting on the Messiah to come and fell out with God, fell out of favor, lost their faith. It's coming. Sister Williams, it's coming.
Amen.
Your heart will heal.
Oh, yes.
It's coming.
Yes.
Chris, your body will.
Yes.
It's coming.
Praise the Lord.
Figure this money thing out. It's coming.
Yes. Amen. Yes.
It's coming.
Yes. Yes.
Community, we gonna grow. It's coming. But in the moment, in the space in between, we got to what? Be thankful.
Thankful. All right. Amen.
For what we
Amen.
got.
Hallelujah. Thank you.
As I wrap this up, because if we ain't thankful, we lose our peace. We lose our peace. We lose another foundation of a weapon that is joy. And once joy gone, it got you. I say it all the time, and we're going to keep talking about it. Black joy is a weapon, y'all. They didn't beat slaves for singing sad songs. They beat slaves for being happy.
Yeah.
They didn't care about hip-hop when we was killing each other and shooting up the block. It annoyed them. They tried to crush that in the infancy when we were partying and happy and surviving poverty by mixing and rhyming and saying, you know what, whatever you do, we still got something.
Yes.
Neighbors don't call the police on funerals. They call the police on joyous church services. Black joy is a weapon. That's why people constantly try to take it. The key to keeping your joy is the peace. The peace. This is all it is.
Yes.
Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, gangster white walls, TV antenna in the back. Though you may not have a car at all, just remember, brothers and sisters, you what? Still stand tall. Just be thankful
Thankful.
for what you got. You God's
Amen.
way.